Yamaha has this strange habit of announcing some of its new Vocaloids very suddenly, less than a month before they go on sale. Why does it do that? Well, it's understandable if you keep in mind that several of Yamaha's Vocaloids have been aimed at professionals, and hype and pop culture recognition isn't much of a factor in a commercial or business environment, at least not when it comes to choosing one's tools. Yamaha has released quite a few Vocaloids though, and some of them were niche products. For instance, Yamaha developed and distributed Toneryon, a Vocaloid aimed at consumers of moe culture in Japan. And then of course there was Zola Project, a trio of singers designed to be used together. Even for a niche product aimed at professionals though, today's Vocaloid was released extremely suddenly. She may even hold the record. Announced July 23rd, the Vocaloid Sachiko was developed by Yamaha and released only 4 days later, July 27th, 2015. Sachiko was co-produced by the Sachiko Promotion Company, owned by her voice provider, and, curiously, Krypton Future Media helped distribute Sachiko. If you don't know anything about Sachiko, her avatar, while quite pretty, may be a little misleading. You're not getting a young woman's voice with this product. Sachiko is a Vocaloid based on the voice of one of the most well-known enka singers in Japan, Kobayashi Sachiko, who has been singing professionally since she was 10 years old, over 50 years. The Vocaloid is named after her voice provider, so when I'm talking about the voice provider I will use her full name, and I will simply call the Vocaloid Sachiko. So, the reason that Sachiko is a niche Vocaloid is because she was designed specifically for enka style singing, and if you're not sure what enka is, it's a little hard to explain. Traditional enka, which began in the mid-19th century as a way for politicians to communicate with the masses through songs and poems, became a formal musical genre, but what people refer to as enka nowadays is quite different. Modern enka isn't a specific genre, it's more of a recipe, which combines elements of traditional Japanese music with Western music, often blues or jazz. The most obvious trait of modern enka is the style of singing, which is best explained with a demonstration. Here is a song from very early in Kobayashi Sachiko's career. Produced in 1965, she would have been around 12 years old when she sang this. This is what is known as enka in the modern sense. Modern in that it's from after the end of the Second World War. While that particular song doesn't remind you at all of more contemporary music like J-pop, I have heard people say that modern enka was partly responsible for the development of J-pop, since enka was an early, popular mix of Japanese and Western music. While newer forms of music like J-pop became more popular with younger people in Japan in the 80s and onward, enka has remained very popular among the older generations, and Kobayashi Sachiko is one of the premier enka singers in Japan. So having a Vocaloid made from her voice is a bigger deal than you might think. We've had professional singers voice Vocaloids before, with the most recognizable one probably being Gak for Gakpo's voice. But imagine getting an English Vocaloid based on a popular American rock singer, and then getting one based on Whitney Houston's voice when she was in her prime. That gives you a much better idea of the quality and type of voice you'll be getting with Sachiko, as well as the celebrity of the voice provider. That sounds really enticing, but the catch is that Sachiko was designed for enka style singing, and that is really the only kind of singing she's good for. While Sachiko has a spectacular voice when used properly, it has an extremely narrow purview. There are definitely exceptions, but by and large, if you don't use Sachiko to sing enka style songs, she will sound pretty bad. People found this out quickly when they tested Sachiko's trial and plugged her voice bank into a bunch of random pop and rock songs. Is it disappointing that Sachiko isn't very versatile? Sure. Her voice provider is likely the most experienced and well-known singer to have ever voiced a Vocaloid, and a Vocaloid with all of her capabilities would be monumental. But Sachiko isn't that Vocaloid. Her voice bank is but a specific slice of Kobayashi Sachiko's vocal repertoire. So I can understand a little bit of the disappointment and confusion that non-Japanese people had prior to Sachiko's release. Her demo song was not posted until Sachiko went on sale, so until that point, some people didn't realize she was so genre-specific. While her trial wasn't technically released until she went on sale, Yamaha doesn't do much to obfuscate their downloads, so some people were able to download it early, and a lot of early criticism of Sachiko came from people using the trial before her demo was released. Again, from people using her to sing pop and rock songs, people found her to be low quality, glitchy, or that she sounded very manly. I assume the quality complaints were simply the result of using the voice bank in unintended ways. As for her voice sounding manly, I assume that the people making that complaint have never heard a woman over 40 sing before. Okay, in all fairness, she can sound a bit like Gakpo at times, but I've never had that feeling when listening to her sing in her intended styles. And that's what makes Sachiko so limiting. Enka is most popular with older people, but Vocaloid is most popular with younger people. So not only are there a comparatively small number of people who both enjoy Vocaloid music and really enjoy Enka, but there are also few Vocaloid producers who can write Enka-style songs. It's completely clear why Sachiko's target demographic is professional musicians, as age and experience are important in making Sachiko perform as well as she can. Despite her limitations, Sachiko really does do very well in her intended styles, which aren't limited strictly to Enka. Sachiko's recommended vocal range is D2 to B3, and her tempo range is 60 to 175 beats per minute. Her recommended genres are Enka, blues, ballads, R&B, and soul music. Her tempo range is good, but I expected a larger vocal range from such an experienced singer. There is more to her package than that though. Sachiko also includes a unique job plugin known as Sachiko Bushi, which will only work for her. In Enka singing, there is a technique known as kobushi. It's similar to vibrato, but while vibrato is a cyclical variation of pitch in a note, kobushi is a random pitch variation. I have also heard of it described as a slow vibrato. Mastering this effect is considered necessary to be a true Enka singer, though it should be noted that the technique is not limited to Japanese music. The plugin, I assume, attempts to emulate the kobushi effect and helps make Sachiko sound more like a real Enka singer and therefore more like her voice provider. While it will only work if the current singer is set to Sachiko, it is possible to use the plugin with any Japanese Vocaloid by simply saving the VSQ after the plugin has run and changing the singer afterwards. Of course, results will vary when using it with different Vocaloids and singing styles. I should mention that Sachiko's voice bank has very strong consonants, particularly her k phoneme, which you'll notice in the songs I'll showcase. And because of her focus on specific genres and the advanced style of her singing, she is not a Vocaloid for beginners. After Sachiko's website went online, Yamaha posted some promotional videos about Sachiko, two of which feature her voice provider. One is a simple interview, but the other shows Kobayashi Sachiko being shown her Vocaloid in action, and it's absolutely adorable. She plays around with it and seems very impressed with the voice bank. Here's an edited down version of that video.
ご自身のボーカロイドを
もう楽しみです。はい。
歌わせてみましょうか。
そうしましょうか。でも私できます。
はい、大丈夫です。
できます。はい。
じゃあちょっとこちらを見ていただいて、はい、じゃあちょっとこの鍵盤を
鍵盤ありますか。どれでもですか。
どうぞ。
何ですかね。
はい。
私だ。私だ。この鍵盤いいですか。もう少し上高くしてくれ。私だ。これは私だ。 あ、私が歌ってるんだから当たり前。あ、でもできました。ここ死んだからってですよね、これね。
あ、できましたね。はい、じゃあちょっと聞いてみますか。
はい、お願いします。
はい、再生。
ああ、星に泣かれ。ちょっと待ってください。
あれ？
びっくりした。
あれ？
何この、間違えたっていうことを、いや、こういうのもいいかなと思って作るわけがないですよね。
ですね。
星に泣かれ、これは今一つだと思いますね。
じゃあ、
いや初めてだからね、時間かかっちゃって。ちょっと。
あれ？
寝てる場合じゃないんですよ。私一生懸命やったんだから。できました。
あ、マジです。できました。じゃあ聞きましょう。
星に泣かれて永遠にこの愛とと星に泣かれて大空の終わりの羽まで。おう、やったー、うまいもんだね。
参りました。
そうなんで
Isn't she just the cutest thing? I don't know if Miss Kobayashi had much input on the development of the voice bank itself, but she was definitely involved in the creation of Sachiko's character design. Yamaha and Kobayashi Sachiko were tasked with creating a design that represented Japan. That is one reason why Sachiko appears to be a young woman instead of a woman of Miss Kobayashi's age. The character isn't supposed to be her voice provider, but something more iconic. I was a little disappointed they went that route. I was hoping Yamaha had the cojones to have a truly mature female Vocaloid, considering her voice provider's age and celebrity, but Japan is so obsessed with youth that I was hardly surprised that they didn't do it. And it's not like this is the first time this has happened. Fuga Naoto, Kaito's voice provider, is also an older gentleman. He did voice act for Kaito rather than use his natural voice the way Kobayashi Sachiko did for her Vocaloid, but still. Anyway, Sachiko's character design is quite impressive, some might say over the top. It is a complex design, that I can agree with. It's par for the course for Kobayashi Sachiko though. You should see some of her performance outfits. They make Sachiko's Vocaloid design seem tame by comparison. As I said earlier, Sachiko has the appearance of a young woman, perhaps even a teenager, since this is Japan we're talking about. She has medium-length black hair and strong facial features. Enka singers traditionally wear kimonos when they perform live, so Sachiko's outfit is an extremely stylized kimono. I'm not even sure how to describe it, and since I don't know much about kimono terminology, I'm not going to try. Sorry. Her colors are gold, a deep pink, and black. I will say something about the fan she is holding though. You see the symbol in the middle? That is the character for Sachi, part of the name Sachiko. That particular character was written by Kobayashi Sachiko herself, to be placed on the fan. If you're interested in purchasing Sachiko, you should keep in mind that because she's a specialized product with such a high-profile voice provider, she carries a price premium. Both her digital download and her retail copy sell for around 13,000 yen, or $110 US. Her digital download can be purchased from the net.vocaloid store, and her physical copies can be ordered from Amazon Japan, though you'll need a forwarding service, of course. Like I said before, with the voice bank you also get the Sachiko Bushi Job plugin, and Sachiko also comes with over 400 X-Voice style voice samples that you can use. Many of them seem to be themed around live performances, either introductions or shows of gratitude. You might be surprised to learn that her Vocaloid was not Kobayashi Sachiko's introduction to the Vocaloid phenomenon. She's old enough to be your grandmother, so what interest would she have in voice synthesizers? Well, if you become a Vocaloid fan within the last few years, you may not be familiar with one of Miku's earliest hits. Miku miku ni shite ageru, which was released less than a month after Miku's original V2 voice bank came out in 2007. It was so catchy and popular that it kind of became her unofficial theme song for a couple years. But in the August of 2014, for Kamiket 86, for reasons unbeknownst to me, Kobayashi Sachiko released a small album of herself covering some Vocaloid songs, with the album and first song being titled Sachi Sachi ni Shite Ageru. It's possible that this is when Yamaha approached her about creating her own Vocaloid, though who knows which came first. In closing, it's interesting to note that it took 7 months, but Sachiko's release gave us the first new Japanese Vocaloid for the V4 engine. Aside from Cyber Diva, all of the V4 releases have been updates, so it's good to finally see some new blood. Though you might complain that Sachiko is so limited in genre that she is disappointing, you have to remember that first and foremost, Sachiko is a Vocaloid for Japanese people. We had no expectations for Sachiko when she was announced. We didn't know what she would bring to the franchise. But the Japanese did, and I think they will view Sachiko sort of the way we have viewed Prima. A Vocaloid who really only fits one pair of shoes, but when she wears those shoes, she can dance circles around everyone else.
杯うつ空にきらり舞い落ちて浮かんだあなたの涙のように冷えかけた面影がかすかに揺れて別れ際のあなたの歌声が聞こえた鮮やかに彩られて朽ちゆく花のように沼玉の夜の闇に溶けゆく月のように江戸の街は今日も深く夜をとばりかけて抜く鏡向いて紅を引いて落ちるまま受け入れるまま長い色輝いた花憧れてた望んでいたいつの間にか灰色の花けれど私休んないわ本当はただ一人のどなたのためだけに繋いでいたかったのだけど運命が私の理由を奪いそいで歯車を落ちていくのであり偽りだらけの恋愛そして私が泣くよね悲しいぐらいに感じた身のしわら今日は雨あなた様どうか私を買っていただけないでしょうか咲き出す傘の群れに揺れる私は雨50年歌い続けて手にしたものすべていつの日かなくしたとしてもその都度に拾うつもり幾度も伏せられ落ちてなお抗い続けてたどれだけ遠い道でも歌声は響いてゆけるはず今飛び立つ背中の翼は歌を愛するいくつの魂不思隣し我が名火の鳥永遠に羽ばたけ熱き歌声をお願いいたします隠しきれない移りがいつしかあなたに住み着いた誰かに取られるぐらいならあなたを殺していいですか目乱れて隠れ宿すずらり常連の滝舞い上がりただの向こうにあなたやがて燃える何が人の恋のふらふら燃える日送りあなたと越えたい立ち上るかの煙遮る袖に押しタバコくゆらすあなた横顔浮かぶ同じ景色をたどる溶け落ちる氷カランコロンと旅情忘れ れられないの一人二人と思い出香る一人二人とはグラスの涙泣き濡れてさまようであんたバカじゃないなでしこの紅を見せる女はもういない
歩き続けてどこまで行くの風に尋ねられて立ち止まる
一つ夢の太鼓ドクとなってたった一つの命始まったやがて何かを求めて小さな手のひらを広げ君はすぐに見つけたね君じゃない誰かを揺れ風がなびくざわめくカエルの声辺りが真っ赤に染まって静かに伸びていく影一人ぼっちの影二人が並んだ虹色の写真思い出なぞれば広がる情景あの日に見た夕焼けはいつもと同じはずでした瞳閉じて背中合わせいつもの言葉またしたこのまま変わらないと朝日雪を仰ぎて明を越える二方の悪への道舞い踊り燃え盛る我は火の花が